Hi everyone, Darren Hunter here. This is the UNBusy Podcast Show with Michael Sands, and we're actually releasing UNBusy, your property manager's book. It's actually in writing at the moment. We've got the cover artwork done. We've already priced out the printing. It's on its way, probably 2 or 3 months yet before it probably hits the store shelves. But there is a story in there. I'm helping Michael sort of get his expertise into paragraphs and words and sentences and that sort of thing. And there was an extraordinary story that Michael tells, which I've heard some time ago, which has been retold in the book. And Michael, he really is the Elon Musk and Steve Jobs of property management. And he just has this brain that does things differently. And I guess this is where, Michael, this is what allowed you to stumble on how you worked out how to outsource up to 80% of your property management tasks.
Yeah, look, as a kid, I was never given pocket money, and I grew up in like an affluent suburb, and you're competing with all these kids that their parents give them a ton of money, and I had a ethnic background upbringing where it's expected you do chores, you don't get paid for it. But mum and dad said, if you want money, go and work for it. And we touch on things that I do now, and I guess it goes back to how I was brought up with my parents making me try and solve a problem rather than ask the question. And, so I think I had a couple of dollars saved up one time from some jobs. And as I used to go to a private school.
So let's just start the story, because this is what I want you to hear. How old were you, all right, this is the whole thing, is that Michael had to go and earn some money. He obeyed his parents, listened to them. There was a very strong work ethic there. And you were in grade 5.
Grade 5, yeah.
So how old were you?
What's grade 5? Is
10?
Is it 10 or 11?
10 years of age. He's at primary school. And listen to this. He identifies a gap in the market. The 10-year-old. What was that market? What did you identify?
So most schools have got tuck shop, right? Like most schools have tuck shop, and we had tuck shop 1 day a week. And, so I think it was a Monday. And I don't know why it was only 1 day a week. But what that meant was that everyone had to bring their own lunch in every other day. And a lot of the lunches were healthy. But kids love candy. And so there was this newsagent. So I had to get a train to school every day. And as I walked from home, and I got to the train station, there was a newsagent there, and they had all the lollies, all the fruit tingles, and the rolled lollies.
So that was the blackberry pastels.
Yeah, the pastels
with all the sugar on the side. Yeah, they were the staple diet of certainly myself when I was a kid.
But I had to work up to the sugar ones, right? I started off with the fruit tingles, and I think I bought like 10 of them, and I took them to school. And I think at the time I paid maybe 30 cents or 40 cents, something like that for them. Yeah, but that was so much cheaper. And I took them to school, and I just floated with people that I had some spare, fruit tingles. Said you can buy them, and I said, $1. So straight up, I had people buying the 10 packs, whatever that I had, and I sold them for 70 cents more.
Cost you 30 cents, but you were selling them for $1. So you're getting, is that a 300% margin?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
And that was kind of cool. So the next day, I went back to the newsagents, and I used every dollar, all the dollars that I had, and I bought more. I maxed it out.
Yeah.
And I sold out again that day, but I was up at $1.50 at that point for them at that day. And I said, because I don't have as much, so if you want them, you have to kind of pay for them.
So supply and demand makes sense, doesn't it?
Supply and demand. Now, I used to go to the markets with my dad. We had restaurants and so on, and I would watch my dad negotiate, having to buy produce. And if he bought more, they would knock it down a bit more. But if he only bought small items, then they wouldn't be as flexible on reducing the price. So that's all I knew. It wasn't sinister. I was just mimicking. And anyway, so it got to, after about 2 weeks, I was buying not just the individual fruit tingles, I was buying the boxes of them, and I was putting them in my school bag, and I had like one of those duffel school bags, and I started buying boxes, and I got to the point where my school bag was full of pastels, fruit tingles, lifesavers. I had basically a milk bar in my bag, and I was selling them, between like $1 and $2 a go. Now, in grade 5, I was making somewhere around $500+ a week at one point.
$500 a week, which was more than the salary that your parents were paying their restaurant workers.
Yeah, we had a chef there, and like he was only on like 480 or something a week.
And Michael was earning more at 10 years of age because his parents said, "We're not giving you pocket money. You got to go and earn your own."
And so like I was buying like rollerblades and things like that, and that was great. But I think it was really disheartening one time where...
Hang on, you got to talk about what were you doing with the VIP clients first?
Well, okay, so the VIP client. So if you're a regular customer, I would do a discount. I would reduce the price because you bought them regularly, or if you bought in bulk, I would lower the price for you. No problem there. But if you only bought one, it was full price. There was a time where someone brought into the school a big box of Tic Tacs. And he was trying to sell them, and I was lucky enough to.
So everybody, a competitor came into the market, and Michael's texting, "Am I dropping the price?"
Yeah, I just dropped the price, and But if he wanted to compete, he could have been more strategic too. Anyway, he went out of business after day one.
Yeah. Now, we diverted here because we talked about VIP clients, but VIP clients got VIP treatment. What was the special thing that happened after school, Michael, with the VIP clients?
Well, that was at the next school.
Ah, okay.
That was in the next part. So anyway, I ended up at this school. I ended up changing schools, going to another school. And at that school, the dynamics changed because you had tuck shop every single day. But it wasn't like you go and line up for the tuck shop. You had to write it on a brown paper bag in the morning, put your money in it, submit it to the tuck shop, and then you would get that order delivered at recess and lunch.
So you can order food every day, buy an order, but Michael then saw the next gap in the market, which was the fact that you order your stuff, you get your stuff, you eat your stuff, but you can't get anything more. You can't go visit a shop or anything. It's all over Red Rover. So, Michael, the market in the gap, what happens?
Yeah, so I would order surplus. So, in summertime, I would order, 10, 20 plus icy poles, knowing that kids want icy poles when it's hot. And then I would sell them to those kids. And again, if they bought more, they got a discount. Also, I'd buy sausage rolls in bulk too. Like literally, I would have bags and bags and bags of sausage rolls delivered to me.
And you get rid of them before they went cold?
Yeah. They were young kids. I were in grade 6 and that, young kids, active, we're hungry. And, that was the market that I had. And I would get, recess, chips and other lollies and that there. I wasn't bringing in the candy from out of school anymore. I was just working with the market that I had. And what I was doing though, if you were a regular customer, because on the way from school to the station, there were shops. If you were a regular, consistent customer, I would take you to McDonald's after school and you could get Happy Meals, you could get cheese, quarter pounder meals.
VIP
whatever.
Special treatment.
I would wine and dine them, right? And again, because we had restaurants, I would see my parents look after good customers, give them a bottle of wine and so on. So it was really about me keeping my clients happy and motivated to keep doing business with me. And that was a really profitable exercise and went on for the rest of the year. But I found at that age, kids can be brutal, absolutely brutal. And although I had my great, excellent regular customers, those are the kids that weren't getting special VIP service from me. They, they were hard. They were like, because you're buying friends, you're doing discounts for other people, you're buying friends. And I kind of gave up on that, which I never should have given up on it. I guess the lesson that I learned at that point was that I wasn't buying friends, but they were right. And I should have looked after the individual customers better than what I did, because if I apply that same principle now, if I was to not do business with first timers and individual customers, I wouldn't have been able to build a business to what I have been able to these days, right? The lesson that I learned is I should have given everyone the same level of love and value that I gave the VIPs. Yes, you can still do extra things for VIP clients, but everyone needs to feel special. I neglected that at that point, making everyone feel special. I should have made them all feel special, right? Like we do now with our customers in real estate and property management. Every landlord, we should make them all feel special. And yes, if you've got multiple landlords, you might do some marketing discount for them, whatever it is. Don't discount your fees. But I learned a lesson there. And then I retired from that business, and then I started cleaning my parents' restaurants at like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I got a job as an usher at the cinema, making candy, the ice cream and ripping tickets. But for me, like, it was really profitable. It was excellent. But the value that I learned from that at a young age was, value your customers, value your clients. And we use that now, like in IGT, like when we're with all the different strategies and that we roll out for clients. Every single type of client, landlord, property manager, there's a different way you communicate with them now, right? To make them all feel special. Would I tell my kids to do what I did? Yes. Would I give them some better advice at the time that I've learned now? Yes. Would I make them more profitable than I was? 100%. Because I would have taken business from everyone.
So the reason we want to talk about this is because it gives you a bit of an idea about Michael's brain and where it led him when he did get into real estate. And the story is going to be in the book, okay? Where he got into real estate and then he realized he stumbled across the book, The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, and showed him there's so much that he could be outsourcing and not necessarily having to do himself if he could outsource it to someone that could possibly do the job even better than what he could at much less in cost of what Michael was costing the business per hour. So that then led him on to experimenting, how much of property management can actually be outsourced, to where he ended up managing building a rent roll of 650 properties spread over 84 suburbs in Melbourne, and outsourcing 80% of the property management tasks, which the 30 core tasks are actually outlined in the book, to then only having one full-time and one part-time property manager based in the office, and doing it so successfully, he got so much referral business because his clients were so happy with the level of service. And this is really getting to the crux of what's in the book. Now, you can actually you can go and get these tasks. Just go to Teams by Design tasks. Depending on what part of the book lifecycle you've listening to this episode, teamsbydesign.tasks.com will take you to the 30 task list, or if the book's out, it will actually then take you to the book. So you'll be able to then order that book. It's really encourage you, get your hands on it. It really does show you thinking outside of the square, thinking outside of the circle has its rewards. And you've got to be willing to think differently, but don't think traditionally, because it could be costing you a lot of money. So look out for the book, UNBusy Your Property Managers. I'm really excited about it. And Michael, this is going to be your first book. How are you feeling about that?
I'm excited. I'm very excited because the great success that you and Dennis have had with your books, I'll have a stack of them that I can now sign.
Yeah, well, and it's going to be a great book. I know that we're going to wanting to get it into so many people's hands. Still a few, a couple more months away before we, finish the final proof and get it over to book layout, professional proofreader, then to the printing as well. There's quite a bit of journey ahead of us, but teamsbydesign.tasks.com to get the list, or if you're coming in at a different time, it will take you straight through to the book. So Michael, great podcast. We'll see everybody in the next podcast episode.
Bye.
Take care.